Hello everybody and welcome again to the second part of Sunday Q&A, which will drag over into Monday. I haven't moved. I presume you have. I hope so. I hope you're out driving a van, taking care and taking money. I've got a new camera, by the way. We got a new phone. I didn't want to get a new phone. It's almost like they make it so that just as about you're running out of contract, the thing stops working. I've had that Samsung S10 5G. It's been lovely. I've had it for just over 2 years because my other one packed up. And then I thought, right, nearly out of contract, get my bills down. And then about a week ago, it started going, no service, can't find provider, emergency calls only. And I tried resetting it, and I tried resetting the factory settings, and I tried getting a new SIM card. And in the end, I thought, I'm not playing. So when I got 20 minutes away from a job and I couldn't ring anybody, and the Sat Nav went sideways, and I'm thinking, when I get there, I can't find it. It's going to start costing me money. So we're now on the brand new, shiny, all singing, all dancing S21 Ultra. Now without headphone jack. How is that an improvement? But I don't imagine the videos look any different. I think the camera on the same is about the same. It has got some funky cameras on the back, which means that, because I can't be doing with this editing thing, I just cannot be bothered. But there's a thing called director's mode. I found this out by watching YouTube videos. It's great YouTube. You should watch it. It's great. And it means that when you're shooting the video, you can flick between the three cameras. So it's like you're doing this. It looks like you're doing it. So if you get some funky videos, that's just me justifying the price, the soppy price of this new phone. But having said that, I'm big on utility. I believe you should spend the money on the things that you use all the time. And this thing is never off. It's on my dashboard. It's my Sat Nav. It's the courier exchange. It's the radio. It's everything. So if I'm going to spend dough on something, I guess I should spend it on this. Probably could have found a cheaper alternative. I don't know. Anyhow, I've done British Sugar. Done it last Friday. Got a little card. It was kind of cool. It's like Christmas. Lovely. A few comments. James Hoddy says, he says, it's always fun finding the stores building right around the back of Wizzy. I presume that's where it is, Wizzy. If you've never delivered there before. Lovely lady on reception on the things, nice Scottish lady. And she was like, right at the mini roundabout, follow it all the way through. And I got all the way through. And then after, getting stores off, though the sign said they were shut at 11 o'clock. Why do people go home at 11 o'clock on a Friday? Give us a break, guys. And then some guy pulled up in a van behind me, so I couldn't get backwards. So I went forwards, and there's a tiny, I'm thinking, am I going to get through here? Am I going to find myself in like a dead end and go out? But no, you can go forward to exit. But I know where stores are. I got this card that's valid for a year. Brilliant. And then I thought, oh, that's nice, I'll keep that. And I thought, I've been running for 3 years on the exchange now. I have never been to British Sugar before. What are the odds of me getting another job? I'll tell you when I'll get my next job. In a year and a week's time. So I have to do another exam. And on the subject of exams, Steve at SDC Services says, I've got one of them cards. Have you ever done the Steelworks at Scunthorpe? It's a proper exam. It's quite involved. You have to get there early and stuff like that. I haven't, but I'm sure I'll have that delight to look forward to, Steve. Domain name guy says, many of the places now require induction on site. Just to get tipped, delivering to some highways depots require an induction. And if you get a job as a driver's mate or a driver at Seva, you need to turn up at the depot at least half an hour beforehand. He said, I recommend you turn up an hour to read through the do's and don'ts and terms and conditions. Like I say, you leave longer comments. It's worth a read, this domain name guy. He says, as a driver, you do get to visit some interesting places. I will say that it's a bit weird. Sometimes it's lovely and it's sunny and shiny. I'm walking around this place. I've been to chemical plants. I've been to British Sugar. I'm assuming that the security on British Sugar is so high because sugar is incredibly explosive. Like flour or coffee, anything that's a light powdery substance. If you pop it up in the air and light it, it just goes boom. And if you see the size of these containers, like you get the gasworks, there are loads of these containers like gasworks, presumably full of fine powdered sugar. If you knew what you were doing, you could probably blow up half of England. So therefore, security on the gate should, rightly so, be quite fierce. And you want to know that people coming on site know what they're doing, so they're not in there smoking a fag. I assume that's what it is. I don't know. But yes, we do get some interesting places. Like I say, I'm walking around this place. It was raining and it was dark and it's like metal and pipes and the rain's coming through. I kind of felt like Mickey Rourke in Angel Heart, or sort of that Decker geese, old Harrison Ford in Blade Runner. I'm thinking, it's really industrial. I'm sitting there looking at it thinking, this is really cool. It's just got to beat sitting behind a desk looking at a screen all day long. But that's just me. I like this kind of stuff. I'm a kind of hands-on guy. Lee Westcott says, are you serious? You have a full UK driving licence and more than 25 years of driving experience. I have more than 25 years of driving experience. I have more than 30 years. I'm very old. He said, I would be offended. Did they give you eggs to suck on? The joke is, actually, they were all very nice. I was having a crack on with a lady as I was filling the exam in. I was having a crack on with a lady in the thing. You can do. And a lot of the time, I think these people, bless them, you're stuck in a booth all day long. And most people just don't say anything. And if you actually turn up, and I always say just be polite, but if you actually turn up with a smile, hello, love, how are you? They kind of open like flowers. It's like, oh, someone to talk to. As opposed to, your life can be mundane, or it doesn't have to be. You can find ways around this stuff, I think. Godzilla says, is your helmet in date? Amazing how quickly a fingernail can work on a sticker when needed. I supremely doubt my helmet is in date, my friend. I've had it 3 years, but then I also supremely doubt how effective my helmet would be. I remember I had to deliver once when I was in the Luton. I had to deliver to a radio mask. And a guy said they won't even let people work under radio masks. These big antennas that you get for the phones. And he said once one guy dropped a bolt. It went through the roof of his van, the upholstery in the seat and the floor of his van, and only stopped because it hit the earth. Now, I'm guessing even if I had a brand new plastic helmet, that ain't going to be a lot of cop. I've also sometimes thought of, when a guy turned around to me and he said I had to climb on the back of the lorry, and their site rules were if you climb on the back of the lorry, you've got to be wearing a hard hat. And I kind of looked up to the ceiling, which was about that far ahead of me, and went, why, what's going to hit me on the head? Rules is rules, got to do them. They tell me I've got to wear a hat, I'll wear a hat. To get a new one. I kind of like them cappy ones. You see them sometimes. If you ever do a job out, I can't remember the name of the place now. Elliott's. They all wear them cappy ones, which you've got padding on the inside. They look cool, but I know I'm going to turn up on site and they'll go, that's not a hard hat, so I'll stick with what I am. Right. Miscellaneous. We've got a good one from Van on the Run here. We're talking about jobs and money and all that kind of stuff. He says, I find long jobs is where the money is on a pounds per hour basis. However, if you have to get home each night, it's risky. And if you don't get anything on the way back, a part of the journey, the rate drops. That's kind of what we spoke about earlier on, I think in yesterday's video, about the fact if you do a 200-mile job at £1 a mile and you come back empty, you've done that one for 50p a mile because you've done 400 miles for 200 quid. So if you have got family, you've got to get home, you might want to think about not, doing like a pop around town or not going quite so far, because that way, at least if you have got to come back empty, you won't be, you'll get the job off quicker, you've got more chance of getting a second job, and you have got more chance of getting home. Everyone does it their own way. Everybody is different. He says, say, for example, a 200-mile job at a long wheelbase done at 99p a mile works out at 180, could take you 4 to 4.5 hours. Which is hang on, you might want to read the comments because it gets quite involved and I can't read it out very wisely. He says, get two jobs a day and you're laughing. Short jobs never work out as well in terms of pound per hour, but in pound per mile they can work out as much as £3 a mile. Yeah, British Sugar worked out really well. It's more than that, but it's a truck, so trucks are better. But yeah. He said, in an ideal world, I would do 6 to 7 long jobs a week, 3 to 4 minimum charge jobs. That way I get my money in the longer jobs and boost my overall pound per mile for the week in the short charge jobs. Everybody does it their own way. You've got to find a way that works for you. And it is a thing that you do take a risk if you go distance. But I've also found that the days that I've made the most of in a truck are days where I've gone a long way and then got one coming back a long way. And it's just been a dream. But it is a risk. It's a gamble. Less of a gamble going less distance. But then again, you may end up with less money. You do it your way. You work out what's best for you. I'm not telling anybody what to do. You do you. Mark Brocklehurst says, hi Pete, general question. Have you come across any extra long wheelbase high top minibuses that have had their seats removed and then ply lined to be used as a courier van? I'm finding these on Auto Trader a lot cheaper than panel vans. It's also easy to convert a motorhome. When all it has is windows. Keep up the video, thanks very much. I'll be honest with you, they may be cheaper. I've said before, people don't really mind what kind of van turns up, but they do want a van. on my home, not always, some people just go, the box is there, they don't care. But if you turn up in a camper van, or if you turn up in an ice cream van, or if you turn up in sort of a trailer, they're going to look at you, and they probably will go, that you turn up in a kind of a semi-decent, old, tidy van, there's the box, mate. People kind of, on the exchange, it's not necessarily required. I don't think, and bear in mind, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I don't think, but on the whole, I would say you're better off, if you want to run as a courier, get a van. It's kind of a prerequisite, I think. Steve, SDC Services. He said, good vid. Thanks, Steve. He said, weights are doing my head in lately. I've got an extra long wheelbase, 2 metres, high roof, had her on a weigh bridge, half a tank of juice, sack barrow myself. He said I can carry 1,100 kilos. It's not a bad payload. They never carry as much as you would like. My truck is a 7.5 ton truck, carries 2.5 ton. The next one, the 18 ton, can probably carry, I don't know, what do you carry? 13 ton? That's a lot. You don't have to panic quite so much about is it too heavy. You still have to panic. You still have to know steel can be heavy. Pallets of coke weigh a ton each. If they want to put on 14 pallets of coke on your truck, no, that ain't happening. But on the whole, it does take that sting of weight away quite a lot. Even a 44 ton, even a 6-axle can be overloaded, but it's less likely. I think, again, just my opinion. He said, I've had customers trying it on with 1,800 kilos. Not all shippers care. Not all shippers know what they're doing. But actually, it's a very good point, Stephen. If you don't mind, I'll do you a little video on that about weights and measures and what to do if you turn up. Again, it's just my take on things, on if it is too heavy. There are things you can do to keep yourself kosher, whether you will or not. Anyway, I'll do a video. I will do you one for that. And thanks again for your comments, mate. Appreciate it. Godzilla's, he says, if it helps, my old 2009 Sprinter 313 with a fat lump in the front. No, the feeling, my friend, sitting down all day doesn't do you any favours. Why have a 6-pack when you can have a keg? Half a tank of fuel, straps, tools, butties, crushed at a weigh bridge, 2,550, so I'm good for 950 kilos. Not weighed the present beastie, the 316, but I suspect with the aircon, it isn't going to weigh less. That is the way you do it. If you want to keep yourself kosher, just weigh your van, get everything on board, weigh it, and then take that away from your the weight that you can carry laden, and that's what you can carry. And then we'll do a video on the way forward. But you have to be careful. Sometimes they don't weigh much. Sometimes pallets of toilet rolls. I just need I've moved a curtain pole before. I'm sure that didn't weigh much. I put it on my head. So, but sometimes you look at the springs and go. Lee Allen. Oh, this is the Lee Allen Show. Thanks for all the comments. All decent comments. So we're just going to do I've got a few on here. He says, another person who can't see the point in flash motors. He says, same as me. I've got a 1989 Rover 213 and a 1984 Rover 4.4 SL. When I was on honeymoon in 1990, something like that, that was a Rover. My wife wanted to take it home. She said, can we keep this car? And I went, no, Lisa, it's a hire car. We can't afford it. It's too much money. We was young. We didn't have no money. I'd taken a BMW, which would my father-in-law. But I'm sure that's quite a nice car. But yes, he says we'll be parked up all day, sometimes a few days, £8,000 a year mileage tops. Yeah, it's like the Mini. Why do the money on it? There's no point. If you ain't going to use it, do the money on things you're going to use. Buy yourself a phone, use it all day. Let the flash motors for other people's eyes. We went on to the Tuxedo Royale / Tuxedo Princess thing. The reason the nightclub was on a ship is because licensing laws don't apply to a floating vessel. I was right. Thank you. You've confirmed it there. It says, if you've ever got to North Wales and drive along the coast road, there's a big ship there called the Duke of Lancaster, moored near Mostyn. It was placed there in 1979 for the same reason, so it could open when pubs were closed, and it's known as a fun ship and caters for families. Oh, look out for that. Something to go looking for there. So he also says vans will have tacos fitted. He said, I've already noticed on eBay some 3.5 tons are already fitted. They're saying that tacos are coming into vans in 2022, the ruling comes in. That's going to change things considerably. I think it's going to be a watch this space thing, that one. But, sorry, I'm just reading this paper. There it is. But again, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But it's something I'll try and keep my eye out of, and obviously you guys will let me know, and we'll just keep everybody informed. And he said the plan is at night, he said when you're parking, leave the back door open so would-be thieves can see you're empty. They've got a problem with this in the fact that I open my back door, but in my back door is a pallet truck, and then there's a crate which is full of straps, and it's got my drill in it. And I kind of think, well, they can now see the pallet truck and the crate. They might climb in and go, oh, there's a drill. Free drill. Fantastic. Lovely. So, didn't you let the cats in? You all right there?
Yes.
Cool.
We're not allowed in.
No, I'll just finish my video. I'll just press pause. Hello, right, I'm back. That was the voice of Lisa. Just popped and say hello over through it. Where was we up to? Yes, and so we were talking about Lee Allen, I think. The Lee Allen show, and he also said, I said it before, and I'll say it again, the best sat nav is a road map. That's the problem. We live in the 21st century now, my friend. And the problem with road maps is the fact they won't give you live traffic updates. So they won't tell you that there's been an accident on the M25 and there's a 4-hour delay. I'm still in an R-in. I mean, I used Road Lords for a little while, and I found that it kind of wasn't great. Waze, I still think works brilliantly. As one of you has actually said, who said down further on here? Have I missed that one? I've just installed Waze. I might have missed some. I don't know. And I've just got. I bought one of them cheap Sat Navs. You know, like it's not a gym way. They've got really long, weird, like Scrabble letters on the X on Sat Nav. And I've just bought one of them for one of our trucks. I don't worry too much because I don't have the problem of not being able to go into 7.5 ton zones. The 18 tons obviously are much more restricted than I am because I can go into places they can't. But I did get stuffed in Guildford on a low bridge, and it's not the first time. And I'm kind of thinking, for the sake of 60, 80 quid, is it worth my while getting one of these Amazon Sat Navs? 60 quid will buy you one with an FM, 80 quid will buy you one with a Bluetooth, and getting used to it now, hoping that if I can pass my test in 2 months' time, I won't have to, as soon as I start running around an 18-ton, also have to navigate any sat nav. So I might chill out on it. Having said that, oh, by the way, it was the ring gear. I've done the ring gear on the truck and the clutch on the truck and a new tyre, which also turns out, because you have to fit them together because the disparity between the two is too much, I now have to get 2 new tyres for the truck. It's kind of been an expensive time. That, with the fact that the lorry was off the road for a day this week. Next week is Good Friday. It's a 4-day week. This week, because it's going out on Monday. And the following week is a 4-day week. I kind of use the dough, but I might do. I might get myself a sat nav. And if I do, obviously, I'll do some kind of video and let you know how it goes. If anyone can recommend a cheap sat nav, like one of these 60, 80 quid ones, is gym way better than that. I mean, I've read the reviews for TomToms. Some people say TomToms are great. The reviews say they're very expensive and people don't seem that happy with them. A lot of them have said, one guy said, he said the first month he sent me down a width restriction 4 times. Well, for that kind of money, I wouldn't be pleased. So, anyhow, getting onto it because we're running away as usual. Thunderprint says, he said eventually all trucks will be electric and self-driven. I don't know if I like that kind of. I mean, I've seen them on the Mercedes, and they can actually. There's one where it can actually work out that the truck will drive itself, will overtake itself. And so all you really do, it's a bit like de-skilling. Pilot's got this, whereas they've got a plane that can actually take off now, and a plane that can fly on autopilot now. You're only kind of really there to land, so you're sitting there to just make sure the thing lands and doesn't crash. And I'd rather drive it myself, takes the fun out of it, doesn't it? It's a bit like whether I should get an automatic or whether I should get one with gears. Changing gears is the fun bit. It might break your knee, but it is the fun bit. So, but who knows what the future holds? You'll still need us because, will you need us? That's another thing I want to do. I'll have to write that one down. Has anyone heard these three words? These 3 words is brilliant, and it's an app you can get. And it will pinpoint the location, but literally it will pinpoint it into like a metre square. So rather than, if we could get these 3 words linked up with a courier exchange, you wouldn't have that problem anymore of going, I can't find the entrance. Because even if you were delivering to a hospital or an airport or an industrial estate or something like that, as long as they gave you the pinpoint address of where to go to, you would go directly to the door. Try it, guys, these 3 words, and let me know what you think. I might have to do a video on these 3 words because I really think it can make our lives a lot easier. Right, closing off now. Emmanuel Sanchez Lopez says, good attitude. The name of the game is providing good customer service. I have no complaints. Some days are good, some days are bad. That's the size of things. It's like anything in life. Some days work, some days don't. Charles Wanish, he says, not sure about tacos on 3.5 tonne, but most respectable companies will stick to work time directive for their driver. Tacos will kill me so far this week. As Monday stroke Tuesday today, I've done 14 hours. Tomorrow I've got a 12-hour day. Then Friday, who knows? Yeah, so on work time directive, I believe you can run 15 hours twice a week, and then the other 3 days have got to be under a normal day when you're allowed to work for 13 hours. So if you've done Monday and Tuesday at 12 hours, 14 hours, and you had a 12-hour day tomorrow, you're already... No, you'd still be under it. You'd still be fine. You can do that. But, yeah, it's not great. It's just another headache, something to think about, to be honest with you. Jake Scott says, I'm not a courier driver or anything, but I love your videos. You're full of life. Thank you very much, mate. I try. Just Driving says, hi, Pete. I've got a massive question. In the evenings, there are always loads of jobs going from London to Norwich for this firm. How much do these jobs pay, and what are they? I don't know how much they would pay, but I would be wanting to quote that one either, unless you do London and Norwich, then stay in Norwich for the night. I would, if I was going to book it, I would be looking to see if there's any jobs coming out of Norwich the next morning, or I'd want to be tipping in Norwich very early the next morning, because I don't normally often do the replies, so I haven't got time to read them all. But as Godzilla says, Norfolk is classed as a quantum singularity. I believe that's a black hole. I believe so, isn't it? In which case, he's right, there are certain areas you don't want to go to, so just be aware that if you go there, the odds of you getting a job out are remote. Having said that, if there is a job coming out of there, also the jobs of anybody quoting on that job is remote, because no one wants to go there because there aren't many jobs. What I would advise, maybe, you quote them the right money. I would quote them big-ish money. Do it once. The best way to learn is by failure. Do it once, and if it doesn't work, you don't do it again. Or you find another way around it. But yeah, getting a job out of Norfolk, not so easy. And finally, in conclusion this week, Lee Annan says, I'm sad when it comes down to music. I'm a trucker. Sort of country for me. I like a bit of country. I used to be a kid. We used to work on the markets. I was on Jeff's record stall, selling Best Friends. You know, it had on there, where you got Johnny Cash, and you got sort of Willie Nelson, and we do a lot of Billy Joe Spears. I won't go there. Dolly Parton is fantastic. But of the new guys, I love Brad Paisley. I think Brad Paisley is fantastic. As he says, what it says, to all the farmers and the key workers, to all the truck drivers shifting gear, to all the nurses that need a break, let me buy you a drink. There ain't no I in beer. And on that note, hope you're all well. Let's look forward to the bank holiday weekend where we all get a little bit of a break. And in the meantime, take care, take money.